ICP PowerPoint presentation, Chantel Miller, HSCO 508. Slide 1. Slide 2, Introduction. Hello, my name is Chantel Miller. The following presentation is about interpersonal communication and my personal journey of expanding my listening skills and communication with other people. This presentation will describe my master goal in this process and how my behavioral blend has influenced my conversation, defining potential barriers in my communication, identifying and providing solutions to noise pollution, and finally, what will be my main action plan to make my personal communication goals a reality. Slide 3. Introduction. Let's start by defining what is communication. According to Stewart, he states, communication is best viewed as a continuous, complex, collaborative process of verbal and nonverbal meaning making. Again, Stewart states, communication consists mainly of getting your ideas across. What is interpersonal communication? According to Stewart, he states, interpersonal communication is the kind or quality of contact that happens when the people involved talk and listen in ways that maximize the presence of the personal. Also, according to Long and Vaughn, they state interpersonal communication is a goal-driven interaction between at least two people that typically occurs in a face-to-face environment. Slide 4. Overarching goal, enlarging my conversation. Overarching goal, mine, as I endeavor to become a family counselor, I want to be able to communicate with people, overcome communication walls or barriers and preconceived notions about individuals. In order to achieve this master goal, I must be able to look beyond color, race, ethnicity, gender, social status, cultural features, and sexual orientation in order to help bring the individual or the family to a place of self-sufficiency and a healthy place. Also, the Apostle Paul states in the Bible in 1 Corinthians 9:22, he states, "To the weak I become as weak, that I may gain the weak. I am made all things to all men, that I might by all means save some." Slide 5. Enlarging my conversation. According to Reynolds Mead, she states, we need more than to learn how to communicate more effectively. We need to learn how to enlarge the conversation. This encompasses all the dynamics of interpersonal communication, conversation, and dialogue that occur in a relationship. It involves emphatic listening, nonverbal communication, and self-disclosure. It is the way in which we live our daily lives in a genuine, authentic state. In other words, enlarging my conversation means bridging the gap between the listener and myself. Slide 6. Enlarging my conversation or bridging the gap with future clients or people I interact with every day means using the implications of culture, which is one of the 6 features of communication. The implication of culture is that culture, yours or mine, will affect the way we say and how we communicate, listen, and receive communication from each other. Slide 7. Background and behavioral blend. My background, as I've journeyed through this course, I clearly saw how communicating through biases affected my listening and communication skills. Enlarging my conversation as it relates to my background is as follows. My father and mother were sharecroppers. I am the last sibling of 12 brothers and sisters, 8 girls and 4 boys. I grew up on a farm. When I started grade school, we moved to the city limits. I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood, but most of my school and work relations while growing up was predominantly with Caucasians. Every office of business where I was employed to now, I was and still am the only African American employee. In my communication, I constantly had to battle between my culture and learning the culture of Caucasians. Yes, there are differences, but I had to learn and find the areas of sameness and generalizations in order to function. I saw and experienced prejudices and even practiced my culture's prejudices against Caucasians. Slide 8. My current job as a leasing agent and affordable housing manager has introduced me to the public at large. Meeting so many people from all walks of life has stirred my desire to counsel people, particularly families that may have gone through transitions, hurts, disappointments, and economical stress. Slide 9, behavioral blend. Behavioral blend is basically understanding different personality types, such as the DISC personality types, and to understand how these personality types operate independently and cohesively. The DISC personalities helps to solve personality puzzles. Slide 10. Behavioral blend continue. My personality blend is CISD, and this impacts my interpersonal communication by indicating that I am fairly adept at interpreting other people's words and actions and seeing things from their perspective. Although the rare misunderstanding may occur, the basic motivation of a CISD personality is quality, recognition, security, and challenge. This negative aspect of my personality type is the attitude of perfection. According to my interpersonal communication assessment through Queendom, I am an insightful person. Overall, I seem to realize that empathy is an essential part of good interpersonal skills, and therefore I would do my best to place myself in other people's shoes in order to better understand them. Slide 11. Potential barriers. In achieving my master goal, I must reduce or overcome the potential barriers in this goal. Number 1, prejudice. According to Stewart, he states, prejudice can be defined as an unjustified negative attitude toward a person based solely on the individual's membership in a particular group. Culture clash. According to Stewart, he states, a culture clash is a conflict over basic values that occurs among individuals from different cultures. Number 3, listening through filters. Listening through filters will alter how we receive and perceive an individual. Filters that affect how we listen are memories, values, interests, strong feelings, assumptions, past experiences, prejudices, beliefs, attitudes, physical environment, expectations, and images of the past and the future. Lastly, biased listening. According to Burley Allen, she states, another block to listening occurs when we form an opinion about the level and value of what will be said. We label the information ahead of time as unimportant, too boring, too complex, or nothing new, and are anxious for the speaker to get to the point. Slide 13, dealing with the potential barriers. We deal with prejudices by accepting ourselves. Number 2, we deal with culture clash by enhancing, recognizing, and valuing diversity. Slide 14, we deal with listening through filters by awareness. According to Burley Allen, she states, because people aren't aware of their beliefs, they have little opportunity to understand them and or reshape them. Awareness will cause you and I to pause and think a moment before responding to an individual. And lastly, we deal with biased listening by recognizing emotional red flag words. Slide 15, identifying internal and external noise pollution. Noise pollution are things that keep you from listening to the person with whom you are communicating with. Noise pollution can be like barriers or walls that keep communication from coming in or out. Slide 16, identifying internal and external noise pollution. Internal noise pollution. My internal noise pollution are my emotions. For example, whether I'm happy, sad, stressed, depressed, worried, feeling love, or not feeling love, these emotions affect how I inhale, receive, or how I exhale, give communication. Also, red flag words like I demand, you got to, or you fail to are words that evoke internal distress to my listening. What are your internal pollutants that distort your listening? External noise pollution. Some that bother me are not speaking clearly, loud noises, room temperature like too hot or too cold. Also, interruptions like cell phones ringing and fidgeting block my listening. What are your external pollutants that block your listening skills? Slide 17. Solutions to the internal and external noise pollution. The internal noise pollution, emotions, and red flag words can be solved by not ignoring that these emotions or words bother me, but I should recognize them, accept them, and decide what to do with their energy. I should learn how to control them and not let them control me. Solutions to external noise pollution. The external noise pollution can be solved by actively focusing on the person talking, control my environment by removing myself from the distraction, or simply and politely ask the person creating the distraction to stop. Slide 18, my action plan, making personal communication goals a reality. This is a 12-step plan. Action plan part 1. Number 1, keep God first in my communication. Number 2, in my personal communication, I will endeavor to keep a positive attitude in the beginning and end with a positive attitude. Number 3, I will practice being a level 1 listener, which is an emphatic listener. Slide 19, action plan part 2. In my personal communication, I will take the initiative to find out what the talker knows, show interest, and engage the talker until it becomes a two-way conversation. Number 2, in my personal communication, I will implement the talker listener card. The talker's goal is to share their feelings, their thoughts, without accusing, attacking, labeling, or judging. Also, the listener's goal is to provide safety, to understand, and to clarify without agreeing, disagreeing, advising, or defending. That would be Peterson 2007. And number 3, in my personal communication, I will work at listening. Efficient listening takes energy. I will practice listening actively and energetically. Slide 20, action plan part 3. I will make meaningful notes. Mentally or written, I will remember to jot down important information to enlarge my conversation. Number 2, I will resist external distractions. I will be a focused and active listener and remove myself from what externally distracts me. Number 3, I will hold my rebuttals and watch for hot buttons. I will control my impulses and speak impulses to speak without thinking. Slide 21, action plan part 4. In my personal communication, I will keep an open mind, ask questions to clarify for understanding. I will endeavor to not be judgmental and give the talker my undivided attention. Not attack, but ask questions to clarify. Number 2, I will analyze my nonverbal communication. I will watch my body language as well as others. I will listen between the lines for hidden meanings. I will be sensitive to the talker's feelings. And number 3, which is the final step of the 12-step plan, I will endeavor to listen without biases and evaluate content. I will see a clean slate and hear the heart of the matter. These are my goals to my interpersonal communication and to make them a reality. Thank you for your attention to this presentation. Slide 22, the bibliography. Again, thank you.